Our story starts in France in a woefully bad time. World War II had been raging for years and the end was finally in sight. The Americans had joined the war after the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor. Edward was an 18-year-old straight out of high school and had signed up to fight for his country alongside his best friend Charlie. The two had been inseparable since Edward moved into town when they were 9. By now they had been through so much together, from the times that they would explore abandoned buildings in their town as kids, to getting caught drawing graffiti as teenagers. But there was something Edward hid from Charlie that he thought he would take to his grave. Edward was in love with Charlie. On the not-so-green fields of France is where we pick up. The military company that the boys were in was assigned to protect the front lines, keeping the German army from advancing back on the farms and towns of the French countryside. But that didn't stop the Germans from trying. As they advanced on his position, Edward got shot in the side of the stomach. Charlie, seeing his best friend in danger, rushed to him. As he was trying to help him into a nearby barn, Charlie was shot in the leg. Charlie laid Edward down in the hay and got out his first aid pack. As Charlie did his best to stem the blood pouring out of Edward's side, Edward knew he was running out of time. "I love you, Charlie." "I love you too, man." "No, Charlie, I mean it. I love you. I've loved you since we were 12. I've always wanted to tell you, but I was scared of how you'd react. But now it's too late. I had to tell you before I died. I know you have a girlfriend back home, but I had to tell you." "Edward, you know my dad always said a man can't love another man." "Look, I know what the preacher said, but there's nothing wrong with me loving you." "What do you mean? I know that God says that being gay is a sin. So what if he does? There's no such thing as God. There's no such thing as sin." "Edward, how could you say that? You're about to die and you recant God himself?" "Charlie, God is a lie, made up to sell a cure for a made-up disease of sin." "But what about our parents? Surely they wouldn't lie to us. They love us, and you don't lie to someone you love." "No, but what if they didn't know they were lying to us?" Edward began to cough hard, and some blood came up. He started to lull into a slumber. "No, no, no." Charlie did his best to stay strong for his friend, but upon hearing all this new information mixed with seeing Edward dying, Charlie began to weep. He had done everything he knew to do to stop the bleeding, and Edward was still dying. Charlie felt helpless and small, but there was something he thought would bring Edward back. "I love you, Edward. Please don't leave me." "Charlie, I would never leave you. I followed you here, didn't I?" "Oh my God," Charlie sobbed. "How could I leave you, Private? I thought I had lost you. How could you have followed me here anyway? You don't believe in war. I always thought you were some kind of scared of this." Edward coughed. "I don't believe in war, but I do believe that life wouldn't have been worth living if you had come over here and died. So you followed me here and died yourself. Now how am I supposed to keep living in a world that won't have you in it?" "I'll be in it. I'll always be there. Whenever someone looks at you with those eyes of love, that's me. The person you'll love beyond the bounds of reason, that'll be me. Charlie, my love for you cannot be beaten by the naysayers, nor the laws of science. Not even death itself could stop me from loving you. Just stay with me, Edward. Stay with me." Edward died in the arms of the man he loved. Charlie, heartbroken and in an insurmountable amount of pain, was discharged and sent home. He would never walk again without aid. But no amount of physical pain could surmount the pain he felt remembering his best friend Edward, the only man he'd ever loved.